So 5:30 this morning, the Sheriff's Communication Center received a 911 call from a resident in the 10,000 block of Clover Ranch Drive in this Vineyard neighborhood, stating that he had been shot by his roommate. Deputies responded, actually located 3 shooting victims. All 3 were transported to area hospitals. One of those victims, his injuries are considered life-threatening. All individuals related to this incident are males in their 20s. The suspect is outstanding at this time and is considered armed. However, our detectives are actively searching for him. This is still a very evolving situation for us, and we're trying to provide some information up front. But again, they are actively searching for this suspect, and we have 3 victims that are currently at area hospitals.
And what's the relationship between everyone here?
So at this point, preliminarily, we believe that they're all roommates.
And is it any indication about what led up to the shooting?
No indication at this time. Obviously, that's something that we'll unpack as the next few hours and days unfold.
Is this a residence you all have been called out to before? Have there been problems like this in the past?
I don't know anything about a history related to this residence. Typically, this area, this Vineyard neighborhood area, is very quiet. I think that's just something that's kind of known around here. So we don't find ourselves out here often in general, but I can't speak specifically to that house.
What can you tell us about the suspected shooter?
Again, very preliminary. We know, I know he's a male in his 20s and a roommate at that residence where we were called to, and that at this point he is outstanding. The original caller did state to our communication center that the suspect was wearing body armor at the time of the shooting and was armed with rifles and a handgun. A handgun was recovered by our SWAT team inside of the residence just a short time ago, but we believe that the rifles are outstanding.
So theoretically, you have a shooter that is out there in body armor with rifles.
That's correct. At this point, though, this is a very evolving situation. We're still very early on. Detectives are actively searching for that individual. We believe that this incident occurred, that it's isolated to this residence related to his roommates and himself, and that he did take off. In terms of any type of threat to the community, obviously somebody that this is a very brazen crime, and if that individual is still armed, is certainly a threat to the community. But again, detectives are actively searching for this suspect, and he has been identified. We know who he is. We know that he is a resident of the home where the original call came from.
So is there anything the public needs to know, just in this era of hearing someone has rifles and that they are prone to shooting somebody and they're out in the public? Can you give us a description? Can you tell us what car we should be looking for, what areas we should be staying away from? Right.
So again, we're still working on the description. Obviously, this unfolded very quickly. It was a very traumatic situation for the people that were involved. In terms of something very specific, I do not have that. But what I can say is what we always say is, please, if you see something, say something. If something looks off, suspicious, if you believe that maybe this is a person known to you and you believe that you may know where this individual may be traveling, please let us know. Things of that nature. But again, just the most important thing is if you see something, say something, whether it just be suspicious activity, somebody that doesn't belong somewhere, certainly, body armor, weapons, those are all indications, right, that something is wrong.
How did the person get away? Because we saw a massive law enforcement presence for a good amount of time. We had the road Vineyard that was closed down. It didn't seem like anything would be able to get in or out. Do you have an idea of when or how he got away?
I do not. Just related to these types of incidents in general, it's not uncommon that before maybe we can set up that type of lockdown in a neighborhood or in an area, that the suspect leaves without us knowing. Again, when we're responding to these, imagine, we have a caller who is in fear for their life, trying to get to a place of safety, worried about other roommates. The roommates are doing the same, trying to get to a place of safety, maybe not always paying attention to where the suspect is, where he's going, what he's doing. Easy to assume that maybe he goes out a back door, a front door, or whatever he does before we're able to get there and lock down that area.
Do you believe he's in a car as opposed to on foot?
I do not know.
So we don't know if he's driving or if this is a person walking around with rifles right now.
Well, based on the police presence in this neighborhood and, the presence that we've had here over the last several hours, I think that it's safe to assume that he's not in that very specific area right there. I can't confirm how far away or where he went or anything like that, but detectives do not believe that he's in that Vineyard area as of this time right now.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, so we just heard from Tess.
Do you know if any of the homeowner?
I do not.
Okay.
Yeah, no idea who, like, maybe the primary is or anything like that. Just know that all 6 of them live at that location together.
Now, we've been hearing that former Sacramento King may live in that residence. Have you heard anything of that? Can you tell us anything?
I have not. Yeah.
Have you been in cell phone contact with this person at all?
I do not know.
Really skipped out of rent, huh? Is there any reason for the public to be concerned?
I mean, clearly, obviously, again, somebody that is committing this violent, this brazen of a crime and is not in custody, is not in police custody, is of course a threat to the community. But again, detectives are working to locate and get that individual into custody now. Yeah, absolutely.